In ancient China, there were 3 old men who had gathered together in a bamboo forest to drink tea. The first old man took a sip of the tea, and he said, "Oy, this tea tastes very, very sour." The second old man took a sip of the tea, and he said, "Oy, this tea tastes rotten and spoiled." And then the third old man took a sip of the tea, and he smiled, and he said, "Ah, this tea tastes especially sweet." Now, these 3 old men were not ordinary old men. They were actually 3 wise men. Indeed, they were the wisest men of their time. And the tea that they were drinking was not an ordinary tea. This tea was made with ingredients that make the human life. And the first wise man was asked why he thought that the tea of life tasted sour. And he said, because the ingredients were full of hatred, greed, and ingratitude. And the second wise man was asked why he thought the tea of life was rotten. And he said, because the ingredients were full of sadness, suffering, and much confusion. But when the third wise man was asked why he thought the tea of life was sweet, especially considering why the other answers of the other wise men, he actually said nothing. Instead, the third wise man stood up and he began to dance because he was drunk on the sweet tea of life. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of that story. Aye. Very well, very well.